You ready?
All right, well, we're back with another YNK podcast. I didn't even want to bring it up, but
It's bed and breakfast for you, bitch ass.
we're if you're tuning in on the audio version, we're all in Mike's bed. I wish I was kidding, but
This bed's had a lot of activity, and you guys are my favorite guests out of all of them.
this if we had a black light in this room, it would be just a glazed donut in here.
No, man, Versace's fucking on the dime.
I think I got the coronavirus.
Oh, speaking of the coronavirus, before we really get into things, I read an article today that the actual beer Corona is suffering a tragic
17%
loss.
down.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a horseshit roll of the dice for them.
There-
Could have been called anything.
I just saw this.
Yeah.
38% of Americans said that they wouldn't buy Corona because of the coronavirus.
But then also 16% of people didn't. 16% of people didn't know that there was or wasn't a correlation between Corona beer and the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So really, it's just dumb people.
It's uninformed. Don't give a fuck.
But it's just unfortunate for Corona beer. I mean, we supported Corona beer for many years.
We sure did.
Probably from 2011 until 2016, I'd say.
Best job I've ever had.
Drank a lot of Coronas. I'd say collectively, three people in this bed probably drank. What do you think? Like 8,000?
I drank a few
Easy.
thousand myself.
8,000?
Easy.
12,000?
I'd say 8,000 feels good.
I wanted to take a step back for a moment because we've had a pretty eventful 2 weeks.
Thank you, sir.
And big 2 weeks for the YNK podcast.
Thank you, sir.
We've had a lot of
Shout out Bluey up in the corner.
we've had a lot of interesting
Shout out
guests.
Coda with the Woods.
A lot of interesting guests in the past 2 weeks. This house has been a fucking
Zoo.
It's been a zoo. It's been a ranch.
My mom used to say, "You think this house is Grand Central Station?" I used to bring all the guys on the team over when I was like 10. I'd be like, fuck is Grand Central Station? But she always referenced it. She used it all the time. Now my house is Grand Central Station, Mom. Sorry.
We've had in the past 2 weeks, just to name a few names, we had Danny Amendola over here,
Sure did.
Legend.
seasoned vet in the NFL.
Real fast twitch guy.
We had Shavo Odagian, the bassist for System of a Down.
Yeah. Legend.
Also legend.
We had David Meltzer, who's a great, big sports agent.
No,
Also legend.
No motherfucker. Like, people are going to know more and more about him. He was just rated in like the top 10 serial entrepreneurs to follow, like by Forbes recently. But what a fucking rock star of a guy.
Yeah,
like,
he came here. He's an older gentleman. He insisted we had bottles and bottles of Jaeger.
Yep.
He's a great guy.
Yep.
Like, where's heads at?
But like very, very serious guy, like very spiritually tuned in. And I can really relate to him because like some people look at my space, not saying I'm nearly as spiritual as anywhere, like he's, you know, a lot further along, but I can draw comparisons to like he likes to turn up. He's in the sports world. He's been in tech. He's investing. He knows how to make money like really, really well. Not to say I'm just hope to be in that trajectory, but like his overall vibe towards the entire thing is super balanced. Like he's down to like play beer pong and turn up, and then he's up at 8 and he's doing this. And he's just
He said he wakes up at 4.
wakes up at 4 a.m. every day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not to cut you off. Do you have a guest phone charger for this side of the bed?
No, I don't.
Respect
Because I don't
that.
want him staying around like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I thought through that.
I completely get the psyche.
I thought through that.
Oh yeah, we'll get it. We'll get to that in a second. But I don't want to skip over our very, very special guest, Mr. Larry King.
Yeah.
Forgot his name for a second.
Go.
Because we kept joking. We're like, let's call Larry King Stephen King, but Stephen King is like an award-winning novelist.
He wouldn't have got it.
Stevie
It would have
King.
set off the interview on a bad foot.
He'd be like, "What do you mean, Steve?
Wrong King.
I'm Larry King." Like he's probably never had anyone say his name wrong in like 60 years. You know what I mean? You know his name just right off the gate.
For the younger listeners, if you don't know Larry King or know him that well, he's one of the biggest interviewer in the entire world. He's conducted over 60,000 interviews. So if you can think of any person that's ever existed in the past 50 years, for how long he's been doing it for?
He's the
60.
He's the longest tenured person.
Said he
in
had 60,000 interviews.
60,000 interviews.
He's the
in
longest
60
tenured
years,
broadcaster. period.
So yeah, any name you mention, we did this too. Any name we would mention, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, like I interviewed him."
I mean, I'm talking like he interviewed like 6-7 presidents.
We interviewed Napoleon Hill, didn't he? Who wrote
Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, that was the whole. I don't even think I told this story, and I tried to get it out to him, but he kept cutting me off.
Not to cut you off.
Yeah, he cut. Yeah, man. If you thought I was cut, I mean, that was the thing. You just want to let him. Anytime he opened his mouth, let him speak till he didn't want to anymore, because he's like super knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. But when he called me, I was trying to get to the story in the podcast, and it didn't get there. But I couldn't hear what he was saying really, and like. It was slightly awkward because I couldn't. He had long pauses, and I like couldn't understand exactly what he was saying.
This was on the phone.
Remember when I made fun of his phone in person? I was like, now I get why.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, the guy has a flip phone.
Yeah, he has a flip phone, which is legendary. But that saved me because he's basically like in so many ways said like, what is your podcast promoting? Like what before he wanted to come on, he wanted to like understand more. And I kind of went into like the Napoleon Hill concept of like, I was really inspired by that concept of like putting a bunch of people together and learning the similarities in them.
Yep.
And he was like, I interviewed Napoleon Hill. You passed the test. And he like hung up. Napoleon
Hill was born in like what, the 1900?
Yeah, man. Like I want to say Think and Grow Rich has been on the best, it's over 100 years old.
I think it's like 1932.
It came out in the 40s?
Let me look it up.
Think and Grow Rich?
When was Think and Grow Rich published?
1932.
I found this on the web.
1937.
37, all right.
So close.
So right after the Great Depression.
So he would have been around 40 then anyway. So yeah, he was born in 1900 because he was like in his late 40s when that came out.
That's incredible.
So yeah, he interviewed him. I mean, yeah, he interviewed MLK, like JFK, Nixon, Clinton, everybody.
So anyway, it was an incredible podcast. Unfortunately, he just suffered a stroke, so he had to come in his wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he fucking rolled right in. We got right underway and had an incredible interview.
The crazy part is he came here. That's the hard part. That's like the most fire shit.
So that should be out in the next month or two. Pretty exciting stuff. So again, if you're tuning in via audio, we are lying in Mike's bed in his bedroom.
What do you think about it?
It's the bed's nice. I'm more of a firm bed kind of guy. Like I like softness in the
really.
I don't like to sink into the mattress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like to sink.
Man, I'm a big soft guy.
I like the what's the memory foam material where it's like firm, but it's,
I mean,
I'm a big combo of firm and soft.
But I feel like if at the end of this, you're gonna lay down. We're gonna get off it. Right now, there's a lot of weight and it's evenly distributed. Like how this mattress works though is like wherever the impact is, the weight like it gives. So right now, all of us, it's giving a lot on this side. But if you come in alone, you're lighter, a lot lighter, and
I feel
you're gonna make you sit there.
You know what kind of mattress this is?
No, but it's hard. It's like it's a high level one. I don't know.
Hard as an awesome.
I want to say Josie got it, but it was like fire.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, see, I'm not gonna pick the fucking mattress. Yeah.
Also, to let people know, my bedroom is probably like a spitting distance on the other side of these doors over here.
You know what's funny is that Kilmer is always like my neighbor. Like since we've moved out here, you're always
my rooms are always right next to
yours. You're always
yeah.
right in my like region because we're always like double-sided house or whatever. We're like remember the first crib like yeah, and same was over here.
I know bedroom's right next door. I'm not gonna lie, I hear some stuff. Yeah.
Mike, do you hear stuff? I hope not.
Honestly, no.
Not really. No, I've been keeping it under wraps.
I think you do a good job of like putting
yeah.
music on and catching a little vibe scan.
That's why you need to have a record player in your room because you get to show.
I got an Apple TV.
You got to show the ladies your record collection. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's when we get in here. We're not talking about records.
That's a game. That's
at least not those kinds of records.
That's a little game as old as time.
We talk about records 5 feet that way in the studio, and then we come over here and do the dance. And do the Macarena.
Yeah, so I definitely hear some things. Hear a lot of shrieks. I hear a lot of
good shrieks. They're not like
they're good shrieks. Mike, what's your dirty talk like these days?
It's pretty limited, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually thought about it. I'm not extremely like. I mean, I think that's just my overall vibe. I'm not trying to be like a fucking over the top, but I've had girls try to like initiate me to talk more.
And what like
I'm just not. Yeah, I'm like.
What do you do in those
No, I
situations?
mean, I'm doing the normal. I'm doing on the below average side of like what the average would be of like grunting.
Yeah.
Just the jargon. You know what I mean? Like it's not even. It's like not even really word. Like.
But if she feeds you a line, do you give it anything but right back?
Yeah, I always answer back. If I'm being engaged, I'm not gonna be rude.
You go, okay.
But I'm not like, oh, you fucking like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not. I find it cheesy. You know what I mean? I know they're fucking with it. I don't gotta ask them. Like,
yeah, I'm not. See, people have this misconception. I feel like I'm very misunderstood. People probably have this.
Are you a? I could see you being extremely verbal.
See, that's the thing. Not only am I not verbal.
Actually, no, you're not. I've been around you enough to.
I'm not. I'm not verbal, and I'm not into any weird stuff. I don't have any fetishes.
I'm not either, man.
You know what I mean?
Foley, are you into anything weird?
Played the fifth.
Oh wow!
I played
He took the pussy. He took the soft high road because he knows this girl on my list, and he just has that. He has an utmost respect for her privacy.
Yeah, you can't put her on blast like that.
I feel that.
Yeah, I'm not like.
It's not her. It's you. I mean, yeah, I get it.
Being
We're just in bed, and you're supposed to be intimate today, but it's fine.
quagmire.
That's funny that we didn't even plan. I just cut you off again. Sorry. It's funny that we didn't plan though at all to talk. We're like sitting here talking about sex and like intimate shit in bed, but it wasn't like we did that because we were planning on talking about that.
No.
Just want that to be noted. Sorry.
I have questions and I need answers.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think people would. I mean, obviously, like I'm into the whole JOI world now, and that's its own thing.
Wait, still?
I like to dabble
So
in.
do you have your girl?
I'm
tell you
pretty
what to do?
sure.
No, I don't do live JOI. That's insane.
Whoa.
Live JOI.
Would you pay for that?
No. Pay someone to talk to me while I yank it? Oh, what would
I feel like
that?
that's a fairly common concept.
I mean, on the internet, I can see that, but like in person, I feel like that'd be weird.
Yeah, in person, that's ridiculous.
With like a cam girl, that's what they do for a living. But
Yeah, it's just
Wait,
their commerce.
do you use cam girls or
no,
do you just?
no. I've never.
Me either.
I've never.
Me neither.
I've never. I see. I feel like I'd feel so awkward doing that. Having a
You
conversation.
run into him at like 24-hour fitness.
I've known a few cam.
How are you?
Here in LA, you probably run into him.
Yeah, for sure. In
ever
Studio
known
City, bro, all the porn goes around.
You ever
here.
known any cam girls?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I remember the first time someone told me that that's what they did for their job. I was like,
I know one right now that's getting to the bag.
Like OnlyFans.
Talking like 100, almost 100K a month.
we love that. And she's not even having to fuck anyone. She's just fucking herself.
She says she barely shows her pussy at all.
Yes.
Getting turf toe.
Don't get turf toe fungus in my fucking bed, bro.
No, it's like when your toe hyperextends.
No.
Oh, I thought you said turf toe.
What's turf toe mean?
I don't think that's turf toe.
No, you're talking about athlete's foot.
Yeah, I'm thinking about athlete's foot now.
Oh, anyways, sorry I interrupted you guys. Sorry.
It's
to
okay.
Sorry to tell you guys, I got both.
Yeah, I mean, girls. OnlyFans kind of changed the game for women and cam girls.
wild.
And I mean, people are.
Is it bad? I don't really know what OnlyFans is.
It's
Is it
like it's basically Patreon, but for
Yeah.
pussy.
Yeah, not even like it's just, and it doesn't have to be, but it is the overwhelming majority is like just hot girls like doing whatever, you know?
Yeah, and
Like anything?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, could we start an OnlyFans
I think
for the
so.
ranch?
well, see,
But that's what Twitch is.
I'm gonna pump the brakes there for a
Yeah,
second.
we couldn't figure Twitch out to say
OnlyFans
we're
for the
live.
ranch is hilarious.
I'm gonna pump the brakes because the issue with OnlyFans is that they take upwards of Travis 20%. They take 20% from these poor girls trying to make a living. Now, our good friends over at Bravo. This is a great.
Yeah.
This is a great segue.
Great segue, nicely done.
Our good friends over at Bravo is about to launch a whole new section of their company called VNext, and it's basically offering, but even to like the 10th degree, the same thing that Patreon offers, but they are here for the creators, and they only take a flat 5% no matter what.
That's pretty far.
So
It's really fire.
So these girls on OnlyFans need to switch immediately. If
Yeah,
any,
why don't we just start reaching out and getting them?
Can we get a
can get a
brokerage
piece
fee?
of that bag, maybe.
Hey,
Can we get a
let's
piece of that
charge them
bag?
7. Let's charge them 7%. Give 5 to Bravo. Take 2.
we'll have a meeting. I'll set up the.
Yeah, no, but that's just a conversation.
We're talking about bags. We're talking about a girl who could be generating upwards of 20 grand a month on her OnlyFans account, which these girls exist.
I know girls do more.
Yeah, they're making more. And OnlyFans is taking 20%. So I mean, do the math. That's if they're making 20 grand a month, then and they're taking 20%, that's 20 grand, right? I mean, $2,000. That's $2,000 out of 20 grand. That's $4,000 out of 4,000. Stop blowing the
You
weed.
really didn't think that one
Stop
through.
blowing the weed smoke on my face.
It's like 20 for me, you.
All right, me, you, huh? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up?
So, anyways, they're losing a big piece of their bag if once Bravo launches their new part of their company, VNext. I think it's going to be and it's going to be great for people like us outside of the porn industry.
I need to know, was that before, not to cut
Why
you
are
off,
we outside?
but
Why are
was
we
that a
outside of
note?
the porn industry?
Was that a note in your phone to like somehow segue to Bravo's
No, that
new
was
thing,
completely
or that was just
organic.
That
not-
was organic.
I'm an
Fuck, I can't open this goddamn cooler.
I'm an organic guy.
You deserve 5% for that.
Any Hoosier.
Any Hoosier.
The one question that I get asked very commonly, I'm sure you guys get asked the same thing, that we've never really touched on in this podcast, and I think it's great because it's right in our wheelhouse, right in our demographic of who listens to this. And it's kind of like the age-old question of like, not necessarily when you get out of college, but when you're just a young person, in your late teens or your early 20s, and it's like what do I do with my life when I haven't found my calling yet? And it could be when you get out of college, which is very common for most people, but not everyone goes to college. It could be, do I go to college in the first place to find my calling? But really it's for the people who just like, and we have three very unique viewpoints because we kind of all experience this differently. Like Mike, for example, like you went to school, but you got a full scholarship, both academically and through sports, and you kind of knew you were calling at an early age, but it ended up not being what you ended up doing. Whereas like I also went to school, but I kind of knew what I wanted to do since I was 14, like at a very early age, but I went to college anyways. And then I kind of just started working for myself. And then Ben made to a 6th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you, when did you start dabbling in the whole, graphics and video?
That day.
That day?
That
early?
day. My parents got me a computer that day that had Photoshop, it had Final Cut,
So we're all
had iWeb.
yeah, we're all pretty bad examples.
No,
Well, we're just
not-
one side of the scale.
We're one side of the scale. So what I'm saying is like, I get asked this question all the time, and it's people who are either like just out of high school or just out of college, and,
Yeah.
they're like, I don't really know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. Like I have this job, but I hate it, and like I don't really know what I love yet. I just know that like what I'm doing now isn't great. Like what should I do? And like you could give like such a wide like spectrum of advice, but I was just wondering like, what do you ever get asked that question, and do you ever answer for people?
Yeah, for sure. Best way to articulate this would be like starting to believe in intuition, and getting your mind state to a place that's understanding of your pace. A lot of the anxiety comes from the, urges to compare your path to everyone else's path, especially nowadays. And I'm a bad example because I've had these lucky breaks, and I did have a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do or what I was supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day, as things have progressed, like I look at things and I've changed my perspective on life and life's events a lot, where I see it, I truly see it, that I now have a new outlook on bad times, on when struggles occur. It's almost like I can like challenge myself, and I can rise to that challenge, and I kind of look at it more like a game and like something versus like, woe is me, why the fuck, oh my God, this is really horseshit, I'm getting trolled.
I think that takes going through it first, though.
It does.
It's hard to have that perspective before you're in that place.
It does, but listen, what I'm saying is I haven't even had these crazy struggles, but I've been deeply impacted by this outlook just on my struggles. So what I'm saying is like, if you can start programming your mind and to change your outlook, and to like really just trust the pace of life, and like really listen to your intuition. Like, yeah, a bunch of C- jobs might eventually land you right where you want to be, right at the right time. And guess what? If you believe in that, when you're going through the shitty parts of the journey, you will get to the better part of the journey faster and you'll be more prepared. You'll enable yourself a lot more if you look at it this way. So it's just like a switch that it really is escalated by experiencing hard times and getting through them, and then seeing that transformation for yourself. But if you can buy into it before the hard times, you're so much better prepared to handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. But even like moving past that of just like a hard time, like a lot of people are just like they don't know.
Right. 100%. But that's what I'm referencing as a hard time, is that confusion, that angst.
Exactly.
That, like appreciate that it's part of your journey. Try to challenge yourself every day when you wake up and you're in that underwhelming mode. Like you wake up in a mood for a long time where you're kind of uninspired and you don't, you know what I mean? These are bad times. This is what I'm referencing. Like if you are confused, that confusion has a better chance of being figured out and fixed if you can change your outlook to like, look, I know this is part of my journey. I'm going to try to be the best version of myself I can. Mm-hmm. The best people, the way you climb and you find yourself in good situations is when your intentions and your energy are the best they could possibly be.
Yep.
Go into every day and every experience, really any relationship. Like I've even shifted the way sometimes I would just in my head be thinking something bad about someone, or like, I don't fuck with that. And even that, like just if your energy and your intentions towards other people are really honest and good, mm-hmm. you're going to get better relationships. Like you're going to find yourself in better situations. People are going to want to help you.
Yeah. So from a mindset standpoint, that's spot on. From like an actual like physically doing things standpoint, I feel like our generation, and even now every generation after ours, there's been like this really like awful stigma with kind of doing things electronically and behind a computer instead of like, you know what I mean? As far
which generation?
I'm talking about communicating with people, not information. I'm talking about communicating with people. Like I get a lot of messages from people saying like, oh, like I'm sending out my resume like once or twice a day, and like, but I live at home with my parents and like this, and like
it doesn't matter where you live.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough times a day.
It ain't enough.
No, what I'm saying, that's not enough. But like, there really is no substitute. And like, people have done this with me, where like a random person will hit me up and they'll be like, "Hey, like I live in LA. I do this. Do you want to get a cup of coffee so I can pick your brain about something? Because I really think you'd have a lot of knowledge and a lot of input." And I've done it. I've been like, yeah, like I live pretty close. Like let's grab coffee. And like I will sit there and I'll have a conversation with them, and they'll ask me like a bunch of questions, and then they now have all that insight. Versus you'll never be able to get that electronically, you know what I mean? Like there's no substitute for that. That's just one.
Yeah, but that's using electronics to reach out to you.
No, I know what I'm saying like you can leverage electronics, but like you have to go beyond that. Like there's such like a.
But dude, think about what electronics.
Really,
that's what
though.
Electronics. That's why it's so incredible, because now you'd have to stalk someone to find them.
I'm saying people only like people will like send resumes like online and like just cold resumes online with people like they've never.
No, that's not.
You know what I mean? Like
those days are over.
I'm saying like you can't just be doing that. Like there's such like
but look, network now it is everything. You can use your phone. You could literally be remote and create a network.
Right.
You can be remote. You can be in your fucking whoever's basement.
Let me use a prime example.
Creating a network though.
Let me use a prime example with you. How much did your career change when you came to Los Angeles?
Oh, it definitely. But bro, you know how much? If I came to Los Angeles 5 years earlier, mm-hmm. I would have had a much slower pace. What I'm saying is,
why is that?
I built what I use digitally. When I came to LA,
well, you had a foundation.
I had a huge foundation.
For sure.
I wasn't coming here and just starting from scratch and building.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And we had something that people were like, okay, people would accept and want to come be around.
Absolutely.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But look, what I'm saying is, if you don't know, your question was about not knowing, not having a calling, not sharing what your calling is.
It was kind of two sides of it. It was that, and then it was like not being able to,
right?
Like sending out, like people are sending out like resumes and not being able to get the jobs that they want.
So Gary Vee has like had some amazing content on this, and it's about. I really can start with a mindset thing. It's like, look at this time as a trivial time. Mm-hmm. Figure out what you want to do.
Yes.
Don't take it so seriously. It's not about being profitable when you're 24.
Exactly.
Like, stay afloat, understand what's going on, figure things out, find your passions. if you're making $60,000 less right now and driving a shittier car and living in a smaller place, but in that span of time, you figure out something that you really like, the rest of your life, you're not working. Instead of working your ass off and not enjoying it and then ended up impacting the rest of your life in a negative way. Because guess what? Most marriages suffer because the rest of their lives are suffering. Yep. And it translates into how you treat your partner. You know, things get way more tense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, bro, like enjoy it. Go out, try to meet people all the time. Use your phone. Be on your it doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter if you're in your mom's house. Figure out how, like, everyone, in my opinion, I think most people have something deep down that they're good at or they're interested in.
Or that makes them happy.
Yeah, and it makes them happy. And I guess, like, nowadays, bro, there's so many new jobs. Like,
I was about to say that, like, literally anything any field that makes you even smile a little bit, you can go and, like, spend an hour researching and see what the job opportunities are in that field.
Dude,
and you can just go try that shit.
Like, it could be,
you can do that for 10 different things so easily.
These days it could be anything. Like, do you like drinking Bud Light? Great, make a career out of it. We did.
Right. Yeah, dude. No, but like, seriously, no matter what it is you're good at, there's a fucking podcast that's making $30,000 a fucking month on revenue because there's a market for all this shit.
Bro,
there's a market for
handmade
everything.
shit on Etsy. People are making,
just
crazy.
Just get out of your own head, get out of your own way, and try shit.
Yeah, I mean, taking risks is the biggest.
Start with like experiment, like do research on fields that make you happy.
Yeah.
And see what the job opportunities are in those fields, and then research those.
A great starting point is saying, okay, for the next month, I'm gonna dive into the things that make me. What do you do in your free time? You know, what do you do in your free time? Do you play a video game? There's a huge market there. Right. Figure something out. Yep. Start thinking in a business format.
You can literally get paid to test video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
Everything.
And just use this time in a way that if you can allow yourself to take the pressure off, your moves are going to be so much better. And like, you can really actually figure out what you're good at.
Yeah. And there's like a negative stigma with like, growing up too fast. And like, I mean, we obviously didn't do that, but in most parts of this country, there's a stigma where like you get out of college, it's like, shit, I have all this debt. I have to fucking get a job and I'm probably not going to like it. It's probably going to be some bullshit office job, but I'm going to have to pay off my debt.
Shit, just make an OnlyFans account.
And then there was a stigma where it's like, oh, like I'm in my late 20s. I got to start, find someone to marry. And then you get married. Like there's
that shit.
There's just all like these social constructs that people still aren't seeing past, which is unreal.
And LA is a perfect example of this. I was just talking about Blue. Age is completely null and void. Yeah. If you're swimming in the water out here, you're swimming with the sharks. If you're doing business at 18, those motherfuckers will lock you into some horse shit deal. They don't give a fuck. There's no mercy. It's like everyone, like the playing field is the playing field and there's no other factors. It doesn't matter where you're from, what age you are. It's just like, who's the bigger player? Who's the players? You know?
think Josh is 35.
Yeah, but like, exactly. There was a 50-year-old dude we rock with. Josh, he might as well be fucking 28. It just doesn't matter. And then there's these YouTubers and all these young motherfuckers making hands over fists, making racks.
See that like 7-year-old that opens toys on YouTube?
Yeah, bro.
He's a YouTuber.
Anyone at home, like, bro, there's something out there for everybody. You just gotta fucking enjoy yourself and like get yourself in a place where you can stay afloat and be inquisitive. And
being inquisitive is like the biggest part of it.
Remember Larry King? What he said?
Stay curious.
Curiosity. He's like, the reason I've been this successful is because of my curiosity. I'm just so curious about
It's giving me
people.
chills. It's literally giving me chills. I think a lot of people lack curiosity and like they wonder why they're unhappy.
But you got to poke the fire.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And like your 20s could not be a better time to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
fuck what your parents think and what the like your small town ideologies are, like where you grow up. It don't matter what they think. But let me tell you, bro, like staying young, it's another thing. Larry King's 86. He feels young as fuck in his head. And that's why he's so upset being dependent on other people because he hates it.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like that.
But I watched a few interviews before, like just trying to prepare a little bit. And he was saying that it was literally like he was 83 in the interview. And he was just like, I feel so young. He's like, I've never looked at myself and been like even I see my lifelong friends, I see them like our first memories. I still see them the same. And it's like everyone out here who's successful, they fucking stayed young as fuck. Because guess what? I tweeted something. I said, the minute you lose your curiosity, you fall off. And think about what happens to people who are in the arts or are really booming one time in business at one phase, one decade, one era, but they don't evolve with the times as you get older because they lack the curiosity of like, what's new, what's fresh, what's happening, what's trending. They've been in the game, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you forget about being ahead of the cycle, and then you lose touch with what's dope and what's next.
Yep.
But if you stay curious, that's why I feel like you can keep getting better no matter what age you are. You know what I mean? As long as you're tuned in and you're using your experience, but you're still tuned into what's next always.
And speaking on that, to add to this is adding on to the mantra, you never know. My old man told me this, and like this like eased my mind so much. And you know, he's an older gentleman, he's a successful guy. Yeah. And he said that the thing that ended up making me rich didn't even exist until I was 40.
Yep.
That's fucking insane.
So think about that. Like we're not.
No, it's actually crazy.
We're not even 40 yet. So like,
that's my phone?
Dude,
that's mine. There may be something like that will come along in your life that doesn't even exist in this world yet.
Yeah.
And you will find it. Like a good example for me is when Airbnb was invented.
Yeah.
Airbnb was invented and it changed my entire life for a few years.
Before they caught on to that shit.
before it became extremely illegal. But when Airbnb came into the market, like I stumbled across it because I was living in New York City and we were going on tour, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to pay my New York City rent while I'm on tours. And I just like did like, again, curiosity. I went online and I saw like what I could be doing. Airbnb popped up. This is when it was just invented. Dude. I was like, all right, like, so I got some guy from the UK, from England, to come stay at my apartment for 2 or 3 weeks the entire time I was on tour, and it ended up being more than what my rent was. I made a profit instead of losing money from not having anyone there at all. So then I was like, well, that's interesting. So I was curious even further, and I was like, what if I get another apartment and I live in that one and I rent this one out full time? So I just started doing that, and I was renting out an apartment, you know, as much as I possibly could. And then I was like, well, that's interesting. What if I have 2 apartments at the same time and I go sleep on my couch in my studio? So then I started doing that for a year, where I had 2 apartments and I was renting them out full time. And like it honestly, like I was running the entire business from my cell phone. I didn't have to lift a finger. I barely did anything.
Perfect example.
So that's a perfect example where something came to the world that didn't exist, and then I just leveraged it. And anyone can do that. Dude,
just look at our lives the last year.
And I'm a dumbass.
Just look at our lives.
Anyone can do that.
Look at our lives the last year, though. We had a business for 6.5 years. And then we created a podcast and the Chug Bud thing that those revenue streams, those are going to be our biggest revenue streams soon. They really are. Like, we're in the middle of doing an amazing deal with Chug Bud. It's amazing partners. And just going to make some, like, big-ass plays with it. And it didn't even fucking exist in our lives a year ago. A year ago
it did.
It didn't exist in our lives a year ago. So it's just like, but I really credit like our energy switch. Like we really grew up a lot, like, and got less egotistical as a group and just caught a better wave. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm spiritual. Like, because I just saw and everything you study says that. It says, dedicate yourself to this and watch what happens. It's what it says.
Yeah.
Remember I was preaching to you guys, I'm doing this fucking affirmation shit. It's every night for like 60 days in a row. And then all of a sudden fucking shit happens.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn. So then, you know, it's proven to you. And then, yeah, I don't know. I love it.
I had another question just before we go on our pee break. We're all going to pee at the same time in Mike's bathroom.
Can we cross streams? Sword fight?
We're going to cross swords. The final question on this is, and a lot of successful people will vouch for this. I remember, I forget which one of our guests said this, but they kind of talked about focus and how important focus is. But here's the thing though, and this is where I'm kind of confused with all the focus, because like I kind of suffer from this, and Mike, you kind of do too, and it's not a bad thing, but it's kind of like when kind of curiosity takes over, like to the extreme, and you're interested in so many different things where you're not focusing on one thing anymore. And you know, for you, obviously, like your one thing would be music, but then you're interested in, you know, we're doing a podcast, you're interested in Chug Bud, and you're so involved in your merchandising.
Though.
Oh no, of course. And then with me, like I love video, but I also love music, and like I love doing the podcast, and like there's constantly 3 or 4 things in my life, as there is with all of us here in this bed. That
still sounds weird.
That we're not really putting our focus into one thing, and like you get this advice from a lot of successful people where they're like, pick one thing and focus on that, and where like it's hard to do that sometimes.
I don't agree. I'm not saying I don't agree with you. I'm saying I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. But like I get where they're coming from. But like it's like a blessing to be passionate about so many things.
It comes back to intuition again, though.
Yeah,
we have the intuition to do these other things. I've always had that intuition to diversify. It was never like I was just like, yo, I want to make music. But for what it does for me, and I'm sure it speaks for you as well, it makes everything remain fresh. If I was just waking up and making music, it wouldn't be nearly as fresh.
Right.
Like I go in there and then the balance is what's made me so happy, bro.
I think that's the difference of being like success versus fulfillment, and like I think it's a spectrum.
I hate only working on one thing.
Yeah,
me too.
It's very honestly, for all creatives listening, this doesn't. I said creatives, not everyone. So all creatives, I think you should diversify and just go wherever your instincts take you. Now, if your instincts are saying all I want to do is this, then you should do that. That's intuition, in my opinion. So if whatever your instincts are drawing you to, just do it.
Yep.
But like my instincts has always drawn me to like, hey, I want to diversify and do a lot of things. And it's really helped me, but it's made me a lot happier.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
I would recommend that. But if you're, a young business owner, you can't launch 3 ideas at once.
Yep.
So figure out what you're best at, figure out what your best opportunity for like success is. Yep. And try it.
There's definitely a happy medium. We turn down shit all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
See, that goes on to thank you for making me rethink and grow rich, because like this kind of cleared things up for me. It's if you are going to diversify and go into a couple different things at once, you got to go fucking all in, man. Mm-hmm. Like you can't be half-assed at 3 things. You got to be fucking guns blazing at 3 things.
Right.
So if you rethink and grow rich and like you kind of read like all these lessons that are in each chapter, and then you're just gonna be like, well, fuck. There's people that are out there that are doing each of these things, but they're only doing that, and they're working their fucking ass off at it.
Right.
So like, if you're gonna be doing 3 things, you got to be going. Like, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be an easy journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, nothing on the whole journey is gonna be easy. It's just not. And if it is easy, it's not gonna last.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie Handsome. You want to come join us?
Want to dive in?
Charlie, come in here.
Come on, Charlie.
This is our new set design.
I promise we got hookers.
What do you
on the
think
way.
about it?
We need a fluffer. Come on.
You kind of love it, right? Yeah, good.
The girls didn't show up yet.
They're on their way, Charlie. I promise.
The girls never came. I think this is a good time for a pee break, yeah?
Yeah, if we need one, let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with You Never Know, You Know What I Mean, right after this urination break.
What's up, bitch? What's up, bitch? Wait for this bitch.
All the Steves are equally special. Hold on to your mic, it's gonna float away. It's floating away. Wee.
This thing's a fucking weapon.
I've been diving into Rogan a little more, and I usually agree with like 90.
God damn, he's sharp.
I agree with like 99.9. He's like the everyday man. You know what I mean? Like
I think
he's
the more
a great fucking version of the everyday man.
I totally agree. He's like a superhero everyday man.
What's your percentage of shit you agree with him
Like
on?
99.9%. I agree with.
I really do. I agree with him about 95%.
He takes a strong stance
I'd go
on everything.
about like 87.
All right. He takes a strong stance on everything, and I just agree with most of it.
Me too.
One thing I did not agree with. And
Hey,
Hi, Mr. Steve. We're just about to talk about something
big fat boy.
Hey, Steve.
He got into like a heated, not argument, but like a very heated discussion about circumcision, circumcising children, and he's against circumcision.
yeah, I saw that.
And
It's a firm disagree for me.
Yeah, likewise.
Here's the thing, and this was his backup. He said that he
there's
around 100 to like 100
circumcision deaths a year,
100 to 150 circumcision deaths a year, which percentage-wise, very, very low. But
that's hilarious.
people are dying. There are children that are dying from getting circumcised. Probably not in this country, but I mean, who knows?
Doubt it.
But also,
That's just a hilarious.
also, there's
statistic.
a small percentage of kids that are getting like deformed dicks from like a mishap during the circumcision.
Honestly,
Aren't all dicks kind of deformed?
honestly, having a bad dick is a really bad draw.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
But like, what do
If
you
you
mean?
think about it, like think about it.
Define
Your
bad
whole life's
dick.
different. You gotta.
go into detail.
Yeah.
I just like I wonder. It's
Yeah,
like
you got a horse shit dick. If you got a below average dick, if you have like a noticeably below average dick for whatever the reason may be,
but if you
it's a horseshit draw.
If you cosmetically have a bad dick, that's something that's out of your control. Like I get it. That
it
sucks.
still sucks.
That sucks.
Like, it sucks.
So like I get where Rogan's coming from, but like it's such a it's such a small percentage though. Like if someone were like, listen, like you're gonna if you don't do this, you're gonna have a covered wagon your whole life. But if you do it, if you go under this surgery, if you go under the knife, there's gonna be a 0.00001% chance you're gonna die or have a misformed dick. I'd be like, yeah, do it, do the surgery. Go for it.
Yeah,
If I was like, if I could speak as a little child getting his little weenie snipped, I would say that. I'd be like, yeah.
But
Like,
so
do it.
what is there anything that happens in a negative way if you let some time pass before you do it? Like, is it harder to do, or is it?
See, I
You
didn't.
got fucking clean under it, right?
I didn't.
I don't know.
I didn't dive that into it.
Because I could get with saying, why don't you wait? You know, I guess it doesn't. It's still gonna be. It's not like the kid's gonna decide in 6 months. It's like, all right, yeah, no, we're good. Let's go through with it.
Like the day he turns 18, he has to check a box.
No, yeah, like
Yeah.
Cut it off or keep it.
I don't know when the expiration date is for.
But like, can you fuck with his
circumcision.
hog when he's
What's
like
up,
4
Steve?
years old? Or is that gonna be fucked up?
No, actually, I think you can because
No, you can do it
He's
at any
still not
point.
gonna be able
Yo,
to decide until he's like.
No,
you can literally do it at any point in
I
life.
know for a fact.
You can?
Yeah.
Get this.
Oh.
Get this. A long time
Hey.
ago when I was like 15 or 16 years old, I went to Turkey with my family for a vacation, very weird vacation. But their culture, they do a ceremony when a child is like 13 or something, or like between 8 and 13, something in there, I forget. That the ceremony is they get a circumcision at that age. Isn't that unreal?
Unreal.
Yo, people
Unreal.
that convert to Judaism at like
Can you imagine?
35
Can you
can
imagine
go and get circumcised.
But like, you can imagine in
If you're
fifth
18,
grade.
then they cut your foot. I would be rattled.
If you're in fifth grade, they're like, all right, we're gonna have a ceremony. All like,
How old were they?
they're like 13 or 12 or something. They're like
That's pretty crazy.
9 or 10, something like that.
So that's a traumatic time.
You're like middle school, and like imagine like all your friends and family are there.
Middle school is
just-
right when you start trying to fuck.
They're
right?
all there to celebrate your little weenie snip. That'd be fucking unreal.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's their culture. Everyone has different cultures. We all accept different cultures. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got here.
I got my weenie snipped.
Me too. Steve, you got no weenie at all.
And we were fucking. Steve, you got no balls. I'm sorry.
Bad cock.
Steve, you got a little
Steve,
furry
he doesn't
dick.
mean it.
You got a little furry dick, Steve. I'm sorry. I was fucking super stoned last night when we were watching that Rogan about the mathematician Brian Greene, the scientist mathematician, and I really was blown away. I was blown away by the Steve. Fuck off. I was blown away by the stat he said that we're the only species that are aware of our own mortality.
Yeah.
Which I think is crazy. And you know what it made me think of?
That is wild.
You know what it made me think of? I'm still thinking of it to this day. Is when we had that heated argument about Dwayne Johnson, about why he works so much.
Right.
And and it got my
Is
wheels.
this when you compared him to Oprah?
Yes. It got my
Still got to make that t-shirt.
it got my wheels turn.
I'll take a cold one, sir.
Yeah, it got my wheels turning.
Never ever use this cooler ever again.
All right. So, anyways, it got my wheels turning about the whole about legacy and what legacy is and why legacy exists, and that's the reason. I thought of this all high last night watching that Rogan. It's because we are the only species that are aware of our own mortality, and because that we know we're going to be gone one day. We want to instinctively leave something behind.
To me, it's just ego based.
Exactly. Oh, for sure, it's ego based.
It has nothing to do with like your real time.
For
here, like-
sure.
But like, trust me, I get it all. Like that's where I come from in my mind. As I've gotten older, I thought about it more. I'm just like, you know, like, yeah, I just want people to think I was a good person and was dope, you know, like did dope shit and was good energy and it's not necessarily about like achieving everything I possibly can with all my time, maximizing my time to the fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just kind of pulled back off that a bit more. And was
So you
just
think legacy is not for you?
Well, I'm just not so moved by the idea of a legacy. I think if I live every day the way I'm trying to live right now, and I know I'll have a good legacy. That takes care of itself. So if I'm not worried. Like, I can't worry about the future. I'm not trying to think about the future at all.
Yeah.
It's really just the future is just a figment of what it's an illusion of an idea in our head.
It's in your head, yep.
And we're making the future in the present. So if you're looking forward, you're kind of missing what's in front. So it's just you're missing what's in front of you presently. You know what I mean? You just got to make the most of it. I get the legacy thing. I do. I get it. And I think the point about impacting people, Kobe, perfect example. That legacy he left. What an unbelievable power that is. So yeah, I totally get it. But I think if you do the right thing every day, day in and day out, and try to be the best you can, that you're going to take your legacy to the best place it can in the end.
And just impacting people who are closest to you.
Right. And I think that's most important.
Yeah.
I think that's most important. And I think that gets lost in the celebrity world a bit. There's no way the fucking Rock is that present. Can't be.
Yeah.
Logistically speaking. And he lives on the same planet we do. I know he doesn't sleep much at all.
Yeah.
But fuck.
He does do tremendous things for
I'm
his
sure
fans,
he
though.
does.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Yep.
He's like the fucking ideal guy. You know what I mean? I get why he's such a...
That's why I love him.
It's just to me, there's certain things about it I can't identify.
I just really want to know if he's full of shit or not.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I do.
know what I
There's
mean?
no way he's that hunky-dory.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, thank you.
I want to know if the second the cameras are off, he's like, where's my mocha latte?
He's like, fuck off.
Where's my whore? Bring my whore to my hotel room now.
I hate this view.
Every actor in this movie is a piece of shit. I'm the best actor in all of Hollywood. I'm the richest actor and the best actor. Where's my whore?
There's no way he is that, though. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if he's that... If he's really as dialed in, and really as balanced as he comes off.
Yeah.
You know, when someone's too perfect that it's
Yeah. I thought that about
what is he hiding?
I thought that about Tom Brady, and then I saw him make out with this kid, and I'm like, oh, there's his flaw.
You know?
He does have flaws.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah, for real. Do you have a spit over there?
It was a little too much. Mike, speaking of kids, do you think you'll hit your kids one day? What's your view on that?
Did you just ask if I'll hit my kids?
Yeah, hit.
No way. I'll never touch my kids. Fuck.
Say it to the microphone.
I'll never touch my kids ever, and
Never?
outside of something you have to do, keeping them in a room or whatever,
Yep.
but never strike them. No way.
Never?
I don't connect with that. I don't connect with that. I think the old me would have. I mean, my parents hit me a little bit, very, very little.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
very little.
Again, that's another spectrum.
Yeah, to me, I just changed the way I look at it, bro. It's the environmental programming. What are you teaching them?
Yeah.
What are you teaching them?
What is gained by that?
But are you saying that you can't reprimand your child with just your power over his life? You have to strike them? I would just be listen, man, you can make this decision, but you're going to live with it, and it's going to be bad, and it's not going to be friendly, and you're going to have to be in your room all day.
You can have that conversation with a 7-year-old, though?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it can be taught through,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, dude, I'm not even naysaying people that do. For me, I don't connect with it. That's all. I don't think I need to hit the relationship. I'm watching my sister with Brielle, who she's doing an incredible job. Also, my parents are super involved. She's been a single mom. And they're fucking crushing it. Non-biasedly. I just go back. I'm she is so thoughtful and well-behaved.
Yeah.
And had a regular things. She couldn't fall asleep for a while and cry and be hysterical for Marissa to let her sleep in her bed. And then they literally went to a psychiatrist for a bit, or checked her hey, what are we supposed to do? This is really hard on Marissa. She was crying every night. The doctor was no, you can't. You can't enable it. It will have a bad trend. So she got through it. You know what I mean?
Well,
but
that's something that it's something a child does. They cry, And that,
but she just had she developed a bit of a phobia of an abandonment phobia, and it was pretty hard on my sister because she's so cute. She's like, "Mommy, let me see," for hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she got through that. What I'm saying is, they're not. They've never put a finger on her. They never would, and they would never need to. So I just how I personally view it. But I get it. Sometimes kids are different. Everyone's wired different.
Yeah. What's your view on? I mean, like it's. I hate the term hitting your kids because like there's such like a wide variety of like.
Yeah, spanking.
Like you could literally like knock them on the side of the head. Like, if they're being a dumbass.
I mean, dude, yeah, for sure.
Like how many times? Like
you can't let you can't be like your kid be like but like my goal would be that you just could work around but for sure like spanking and doing what you have to do to make a point.
Well, let me paint the picture for you. You have a 5-year-old kid.
Yep.
He has a friend over, and you visibly see him take a broomstick, wind up, and hit his friend in the face with the broomstick as hard as he can, like a baseball bat.
Yeah, I'd probably hit him.
I'd ask if his friend deserved it first.
What I would do is say, look, now you're gonna sit here, and he's gonna hit you with the broom 5 times. And you're gonna learn why you should never do that ever again.
You will learn justice.
He needs to learn.
Let the boy watch
The way I learned.
the juice. All the children lined up with their school lunches.
What a clip.
I don't even know why I brought that up. I think it's because like you see these clips on Twitter that are like way out of context and like you have no idea what they're from, but it's like some adult like hitting a little kid and like you have no idea what the fucking situation is. But like I think back to my childhood and like I was never abused at all, like in a bad way at all. But like I got whacked up beside the head with a fucking newspaper if I was being a fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
And like by today's standards, if that's like if that's put if that's put on the chopping block, it would be fucking scrutinized.
There'd be some people that said it was bad, some people that said it was good, and everyone would go on.
That's fucking everything now.
Literally everything.
Yeah, that's everything now.
There's a side to everything, and people love playing. That's one thing when people talk about, hey, I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. But you'll be on Twitter engaging in arguments and like there's so many people looking for clout and attention on the internet when you're just misusing the internet. It's the best tool we got.
I know, it's incredible.
It really is. But people are on that same platform doing it, digressing. They're going the opposite way, engaging in like think about the thousands and thousands and thousands of people who argue on. That's all it is.
That's what happens when you give everyone a voice. And the result of it now is that people are afraid to voice their opinion. And like people who should be voicing their opinion now are kind of like limited in a way because they have to think in their mind, well, do I want to have to go through this? If I say this publicly, do I want to have to go through the scrutiny of fucking like all these people saying that they either agree or don't agree? You know what I mean?
I think what it's all trending to is being kinder, though. I do. Because look, maybe now everyone's journal is public. Like everyone's personal journal, the concept is now a public thing that everyone shares. And in fact, people share more to the public than they would even do to their friends. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is like, maybe the idea, everyone getting enraged, like what it's pointing to is like, look, why don't we just like stop arguing over trivial things? Understand that everyone sees things differently. Like, I get it. It's way harder to do this than say it. But what I'm saying is I think it could be a cool trend that the internet is kind of existing with this cancel culture, everyone being so outraged. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's curtailing what you should say on the internet, but maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need everyone's firm opinion and making fun of other people and shit and just like try to regulate it towards being more peaceful, like overall.
Well, Twitter's starting to like take action. Actually, I mean, I got banned for 24 hours from Twitter recently.
Yep. You sure did.
I wasn't even trying to be malicious at all. You know what I mean?
He said really. I mean, at all.
Not really. Like I get why I was banned from Twitter. I mean, I'll tell the story. It's not even bad. Is Ben here hit his head on the Tesla door? The doors that kind of swing up like wings.
Blue hit me with the Tesla door and hit my head.
Yeah, with the Tesla door.
I let Elon know he'd big league it.
Yeah, and then you tweeted Elon, and then I added on to your tweet, and I said, now our friend's mentally retarded, so you can cut us a check. I said I used the term mentally retarded, which is not a bad term.
Look, that's like a great example of like something that's just like like people should not get enraged over that. I get it. I get the angle of like, I know some, but like it's clearly not being used in that way.
Within that context.
Yes, you shouldn't say it, but like no, it shouldn't be something that you allow yourself to be bothered by it.
I'm wondering if I got banned for a day for that, what the fuck's happening to other people from the other shit I read?
Oh yeah, there's probably people getting banned left and right.
Left and right, yeah. Well, good for that. I hope there is a difference, and I hope people can be more
Maybe
kind.
we're trending towards peace, guys. You never know.
I came to the realization, and before we close out here, I'm just remembering a conversation we had where in high school, there was trying to be like a race, like prejudice and racism and stuff. And like we were doing like a seminar in our high school or something like that. And like people were giving talks. And like, you know, like when they give those talks, everyone just nods their head. They're like, yeah, like people should be less racist. People should be less prejudiced against like others who are different.
Mm-hmm.
And then like one smartass who like makes so much sense now, like what he said, he's like, don't you think that there's always just going to be shitty people no matter what? And they're always going to be there like a thorn in our side saying shitty things. And no matter what we do, those people are always going to exist.
Perfect.
And then he's like, so like...
That's the point,
like
right?
that's the point.
That's the point. Like, look, there's a yin and a yang to everything. Yeah.
It's
and like, if you can just say, hey, if you can just accept that right there, there's no way you're going to please everyone. It's actually beneficial to have people not all think identically. And you just accept it for what it is. And yes, you could disagree, you know, but it doesn't have to be malicious. And then think about what that does to the politics of it. Like, people hate each other over being red or blue. Yeah. You know, people hate each other over these. And then personally, like if you think about politics in general, I think this is actually a really cool topic. Like, I think it's outlandish that we're trying to put people in a box of Democrat, Republic.
That's why I don't vote.
Or fucking independent. It's why I don't vote.
That's why I don't vote.
It's
That's the only reason. Because
to be honest,
everyone else go out and vote this Tuesday if you're in California.
But like, look, I don't even I you know, you can disagree with my view on this, but I think I'd be doing a disservice because I'm not invested in it, and I'm not invested in anyone, and I'm not drawn to it, and I don't have a lot of shit going on in my life, and I personally, I can't believe as an outsider how one-sided and how much, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's divided.
It's so divided, but it's all propaganda. That's the word.
Yeah.
CNN is all this.
Fox News
is all that.
Yep.
Washington Post is this. It's just like, dude, there's no one giving a real unbiased opinion in my opinion.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan is the only
He's the guy. Yeah, that's why he's winning.
Joe Rogan. That's why Joe Rogan's winning.
Yeah, that's why he's winning.
Because he's keeping it a buck.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I will continue to get all my information from him, news, guests, information, anything. And yeah, no, you're totally right, because it's like if you're conservative, like you have to check these boxes. If you're liberal, you have to check. And yeah, that's why I don't vote. That's literally, people think I'm crazy for not voting.
I vote,
and I'm not even. And one, I haven't. You're right. I haven't found anyone that I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. Like I need him to be the leader. And I think the reason why I don't think that is because I'm conservative on some things and I'm liberal about some things, which is how it should be.
Yeah,
you know
I am too, and I definitely, you know, like I don't identify at all with a category. That's it's hard for me to even go in there with any type of direction. I don't watch enough, and I don't watch enough because it puts me in a bad vibe. I talk about my programming all the time. Yeah, I've been in better moods, bro, because I don't consume. I really try to avoid anything with any negative undertones. I watch that shit. I'm at the gym. I see it. I get a little stressed from it. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck I believe half the time. I'm like,
this is a whole different podcast about what the media is putting in.
But we don't even, and that's not even our vibe to talk about. But it's just like, I just think everyone, all of the listeners and all the people our age and younger need to understand that like it's time to, like there is evolution in front of us. Like things are going to change. The government structure could change. We're trending towards like radical changes, and I think it's all going to lend itself to thinking independently, but respecting everyone's view. And like that's where it's got to go. Like some young leader who can like.
Our country, in the grand scheme of things, is still very young.
For sure.
We've had how many, like 200 years of presidents,
not even,
if that, and you know, we're in the grand scheme of things of how long like civilization has been around. That's fucking nothing. So like it will change. And I think what my friend Mike here is trying to say is that love is blind. I saw Frank's dad made it out. I haven't seen him in like 4 years.
I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad.
So good.
Just end on that.
Yeah, I love that Michael Delzato got all of your references.
Dude,
Yeah.
It made me
so
fuck
good?
with him so much heavier.
Isn't it so
like
good?
I fucked with him already.
Dude,
Like,
isn't
he's
he,
legend,
isn't he a
but that
cool
just made-
motherfucker?
That
Yeah, just
episode's
put him-
performing very great, by the way. If no one's seen it yet, Michael Delzato, phenomenal
Dude, what
hockey
a
player.
stallion.
Just
Just
a-
a fucking overall rock
just a-
star.
Yo, can I creative direct DJ Banana Hammock?
Yeah, it's how good is it?
Yes.
Am I right or am I right?
No, it's just
Dude,
smash.
he could go crush. Bitches would be lining up.
Yeah, Michael Delzato, a very, very great guy, journeyman in the NHL.
Great hockey player too. Great hockey
He's
player.
going to see much success after his hockey
I'm
career.
getting a piece of that. I might manage him.
Yeah, we
Think
need
about
that.
it. We'll know the whole game by then.
Yeah, we'll all work for him.
Sponsor it with Chug Bud.
If you haven't seen the episode, check out Michael Delzato's, the one before this one. And any closing remarks? Anyone?
Great cock and balls.
Yeah. Great cock and balls on you guys.
All right.
It's been awesome. You guys are welcome here anytime.